Hey everyone, and welcome to the Inner Selves read for what the Inner Selves need you to know for the 12th through the 18th of January of 2025. As always with these, take a resonates, take what doesn't. I'm using my Dark Magic Oracle deck today. Fly. Be free to know you are loved. So, it's time to fly free and fly independently. Be who you want to be, say what you want to say, do what you want to do. This is a growth or a rebirth. This is one of those things where you are needing to be fully vulnerable and break from the inside. Save yourself. Be able to complete things all on your own. Make your own choices. Blue monarchs stick out. Being able to ascend and awaken and feel complete. There's a lot of contemplation, a lot of deep thought, a lot of like fly on the wall mentality going on here. Undergarments stick out. Underground sticks out. Underground tactics. Feeling vulnerable. Feeling naked. Being intimate or craving intimacy while fearing it at the same time. Paradoxes and paradigms. This is especially true with life path 9s or those that exhibit a lot of wanting to impress people that are in it for the long haul and the long run. Time to complete some goals and get some long-term goals going and start to exhibit more of who you want to be on the outside, like you do on the inside at times. There's a lot of like, you are loved, you are kind, you are beautiful, self-affirmations, words of affirmation, knowing what love languages are best received by you and which love languages you best give, because now they don't always match. Dragonfly. There is a deeper meaning that you may not be getting from your inner selves. And your inner selves can help you with that, especially the inner critic, the inner narcissism, the inner vanity, the inner conceited people, the ones that are very prideful and egotistical and driven by bloodlust and rage and resentment and pessimism and cynicism. Insecurities and fears and worries and deep root work are going to be needed, especially in life path 3s and 9s and 6s. 369 hertz, 639 hertz, and 936 hertz can all help if you're into those. The color red sticks out. Liquid courage sticks out. Elixir of life sticks out. Philosopher's Stone sticks out. So alchemy, forbidden knowledge, forbidden magic. Know what's poison to you and what's not. Cranberries stick out, like the song Zombie. Cranberries, the fruit, stick out. That could be symbolic, that could be significant, that could be metaphorical, that could be figurative, that could be multifaceted. Mistletoes stick out. Mint sticks out. Greens and reds stick out, like forest hunter green and like cranberry and blood red, pretty much. Not wanting to hear something that you know you need to hear, not wanting to take the steps because of feeling emasculated or feeling less than. due to fears and anxieties about image and reputation and credibility and what others might think or say or do. But quick, decisive action is needed. And there are people there that will help you, especially with draconic natures and natures that are very animal driven and animalistic in nature, especially those that are very animositized and resentful towards authority figures. Remember to express yourself in your creative art with sonnets and poetry and written arts and linguistics and word magic and written forms of communication, like poetry, songs, stories. I'm sure there's more, like movie scripts, plays, playwrights sticks out. Producers, executive producers stick out. Writers, creative visions, artists, brooding artists especially. Speak from the heart when you create things and know that creativity is a very smart art to do, especially when you can assess life's problems through it and pick it apart and analyze it and learn through the manipulation and learn how to manipulate others through words, and where you manipulated others, whether intentionally or unintentionally, through text or through words or through actions. It does look like there's a lot of picking apart who's at fault where, and self-martyrization and self-harming due to picking at oneself or cutting oneself or relying too much of a pecking order or having an inferiority or superiority complex. There's a lot of synergy that needs to happen. There's a lot of destruction in the air, a lot of chaos and chaotic beings and energies, much like Loki and Odin figures as well. Sons of gods and sons of demons, and raised by animals or raised by nature, raised wild and untamed, basically. Lots of shadow work, lots of spending time with in exile and seclusion and banishment to like teach them a lesson, kind of a deal. Calligraphy, cartography, written forms, written words. Just because it's literally written in stone doesn't mean it's set in stone, in a sense. And even if it is set in stone physically, that doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it real. It doesn't mean that it's what's going on. That's what has to happen. Especially for those born between August 27th and September 3rd. You are a natural when it comes to things. So, knowing where you stand and seeing the best in things and nurturing yourself and being practical and realistic and staying trustworthy and gaining your autonomy and being able to take accountability. Learning through acceptance is a very big, strong thing to do. Every Rose Has Its Thorn by I think it's Guns N' Roses. I could be wrong for the band. Forgiveness, closure. Making sure that you don't speak unless you know what you're doing or what you're saying. Stay grounded when you're speaking to those that are deeply rooted in their views and beliefs. Working with cognitive dissonance and personal bias, and working through assumptions with a lot of assumption along with assumptive bias as well. There's a lot of twin flame unions and karmic connections going on, and a lot of deep soul connections being shown. Dependability, obedience, loyalty, denial, rejection, refusal due to willful ignorance, pretty much so blinded by beauty that it didn't feel natural, or it felt so natural that it felt unnatural in a sense. Expecting the unexpected. There's a lot of derailings, a lot of unplanned excavations going on. Archaeological discoveries are going to be made here in the next 22 weeks or 22 months or so. And you've been making a lot of discoveries within yourself since 2022. By the 22nd of this month, which is a little farther than what we're going for, you're going to be driving yourself crazy. So just be aware of that. Breaking free of the illusions, breaking free of the ties that bind. Anunnaki and Ascended Masters work well with you. Anthropomorphic beings and those that wear animal masks like Thoth and Horus and Ra. Avian creatures and avian starseeds. Refusal to evolve doesn't mean that it's going to not happen. Just because you ignore it doesn't mean it's not there. You're not okay and you're refusing to evolve past what you're doing. You're refusing to do what you have to do. And that's what's driving you crazy, is because you're driving yourself there. You're doing that to yourself, and it's not fair to yourself. It's not fair to those around you, and it's not fair to anyone within you either, to keep driving yourself batty and driving yourself nutty cuckoo and driving yourself into a spiral of self-destruction and defeat. Setting yourself up for failure doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to win eventually, but it doesn't mean that you have to set yourself up for failure just because it's fun, or just because you need to feel like you need to teach yourself a lesson. But that's what I'm getting for the 12th through the 18th of January 2025. As always with these, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and that was from your inner selves. So, my personalized link is on the link below if you'd like a personalized read. Thanks for joining.